Hello and welcome, Creepcat here. Just wanted to say that all of these stories are not written by me, and I will give credit to all of the authors down in the description below. So, for everyone, close your windows and lock your doors. Sit back and enjoy the ride. This is Street 2 Scary Stories from Reddit. Number 1. This happened about 2 years ago when me and my buddy, Chris, were playing video games, Call of Duty, when I heard a weird tapping on the window downstairs. I forgot to mention it's a 3-level apartment. I just dismissed it as a normal house noises, but the tapping got louder. I jumped up and obviously Chris heard it as well and said, "Are you gonna check that out?" And I said, I guess I'll just check it out, okay? So I tiptoed down the stairs slowly, and where we are located, the street lights illuminate through our window, and what I saw put chills down my spine. A shadowy figure was pressed against my window behind the blinds. I froze, and my blood froze, and went to get Chris, and we made it back downstairs, and the figure, it disappeared. Then, in an instant, my back doorknob in the kitchen began to jiggle, and a voice in a deep tone said, "Let me know you're in there." We tried to stay quiet to make it seem like we weren't home. That didn't work, because the voice said, "I've been watching you, and I've been watching the house, and I saw a larger kid enter but never came out. Let me in! I have a surprise for you." Then began slamming the door. I told Chris to grab his phone and call the cops, and then when I went to grab my katana, it's my sword. When I made it back downstairs, he said they were on the way. The man tried to break in until we heard sirens. Oh man, that was such a relief. A knock on the door followed by a policeman say, "Open up!" And we rushed to the door, where we met an officer, and they catched a man who was a tall, lanky, dirty man with a long, greasy hair being led into the cop car. We gave our statement, and that was that. I never saw him again, and I hope they didn't let him out of the prison. And I still remember it like it was just yesterday. Number 2. My cousin and I were fishing about 8 p.m. at a lake that is about a half a mile away from my house. We decided to go ahead and walk back. He was 10 and I was 13 at the time. We were walking home when this black truck drove by us, and the man inside had a gray beard and a jean jacket on. He drove by kind of slowly, and it kind of creeped me out, but I just shrugged it off. We got home soon after that. My cousin and I sat on the lawn and just relaxed because it was a really nice night. Then the same guy drove by us going like 10 mph, and it creeped me out, but I just shook it off again. I was in my house, and we have this big ass window in my living room. So it was about 2 a.m. and I was watching YouTube. I think I was watching live stream fails, and I decided to go watch TV then go to bed. The chair I was sitting in is right by this window, so I put down my phone and get the TV remote and put on the TV, and I think I watched Archer. I thought it was funny, and I started to lay down on this big chair, and I turned on the TV. And I turned it down a little, and then 3 knocks came on the window. There's nothing by this window. There was no chance of a 3 tapping on it. The curtains covers it all up. I was paralyzed with fear. I finally got the courage to open the window, or just to say, open the curtains. Just a little bit, but no one was there. I tried to relax and think of something else could have hit my window, but I couldn't come up with anything. I'm a very logical person, and I tried to come up with stuff and not skip that someone's going to rob us. But I just couldn't think of anything. So I shut the lights off because I didn't want anything to see my movements. The curtains were kind of see-through. I sat down on the chair again, and right when I was about to calm down, another 3 knocks came on the window. I got my phone out and started recording so people would believe me. I didn't open the curtains this time because I knew someone is there and was knocking on the window. And I was scared shitless, and we have no gun. So I went to my dad's room and woke him up and told him that someone was knocking on the window. He just told me to go to bed and that no one was knocking. I couldn't give him up. So I grabbed his phone and his hunting machete that he keeps in his closet, and it was sharp as hell. And if you tried, you could kill someone with it. I turned on his phone and led it to the flashlight and held it in one hand and the machete in the other. And I walked outside as possibly as I could. But my heart was beating like crazy. I couldn't bring myself to kill someone. I went around the house to where the window was. I didn't see anyone. I walked around one more time, but no one was there. I started to think I was crazy, but then I saw this person standing behind a tree. I saw that he was holding something. I couldn't tell what it was. So I pointed a flashlight in the direction that the person wants, and I nearly shit my pants. Oh god, I kid you not. I did pee a little bit. It was the man from earlier, and I started sweating. We stared at each other for like about 10 seconds, and I looked down at the thing he was holding, and it's a black-handled switchblade. That's when my heart skipped a beat. And I ran as fast as I could, and I went inside and slammed all the doors and locked every lock on all of them. I ran to my dad's room and woke him up and told him everything as fast as I could. He got out of bed and grabbed the machete from my hand. And he told me to call the cops. So I did, and they said they would be here as fast as they could. And my dad yelled that the police were coming. The police got there about 10 minutes later, and I was so happy they had to question me. They never found the man, which worries me to this day. But I don't know what he wanted. And I'm glad that he didn't get in. This still haunts me to this day. But yeah, that's the story. Number 3. I'm a female and still living with my parents at home. I can't remember the exact age I was, but I think I was between 19 to 21. At the time, we were living in our old house that my dad's parents built. By this time, the house was old and really run down, and due to this, a couple years back, the roof fell due to a bad snowstorm, and so we still live there, and where we always have lived though, but the house had to be rebuilt and new. So anyways, this took place in our old house. The house was heated by a wood stove, so it would be colder. So when it was a colder day, it would be a little chilly inside, you know? Not to mention, I always kept my room's door shut so the cats and dogs won't run in me and jumping all over me. I was getting ready for bed and had a couple layers of blanket on me. It was pretty late though. I think it was past midnight when I heard a female's voice laughing. It was so clear and it didn't sound like young kids, but it didn't even sound like an older woman's voice either. I shot up from bed because it was so clear and it just seemed so weird. I thought to myself that maybe my mom just had fallen asleep on the couch and had left the TV on, which for her happened a lot of times, and she never really cared how loud the TV was, even the people were sleeping or not. At this point, the laughing had stopped, and I climbed out of bed and opened my door as quietly as I could, since my door likes to stick a little bit and could be very loud. And I didn't want to make my sister up, who had a room right across from mine. I looked down the hallway to see the TV was on, or if it was on, and was on the living room. But there was nothing. No lights on, no TV on, nothing but a slight orange glow from the wood stove. I had this really creepy feeling when I saw that it was dark out there and so quiet. And I ended up shutting my door quietly, climbed into bed, and slept with the covers on over my head for the rest of the night. In the morning, I asked my family, and none of them heard anything. My mom proceeded to tell me that she didn't fall asleep in the living room, neither she didn't leave the TV on, and that night she actually went to bed the same time my dad went. It was super creepy. I don't know what the laughter was and I never heard it again. But to this day, it still gives me little chills when I think about it. Okay guys, that was the stories. Thank you so much, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more scary stories video. Thank you. Bye. This is Creepcat signing out.